Hi there, it's Mira Reisberg from the Children's Book Academy, and I have a wonderful book to share with you today. It's one you may not have heard of. It's A Concert in the Sand, and it's by Tammy Shemtov and Rachela Sandbank, illustrated by Avi Ofer. And this is a wonderful example of how to write a contemporary non-fiction about a historical figure and a historical event that happened in Israel. It's a great book because it's both non-fiction, it's fiction that deals with non-fiction. So it's not strictly non-fiction because parts of it are not necessarily true, but it is about a historical event and it's very creative. You'll have to excuse me, I'm a bit ill with a rather nasty respiratory infection, which makes me sound even more Australian than usual. It's got really charming cartoon-like illustrations that remind me a bit of Roz Schwast. And let me read the beginning. It's boring hanging out at Mom and Dad's delicatessen. Lots of construction workers come in to buy sandwiches for lunch, so my parents don't have time for me. My grandma has time, but she only speaks German, and I don't. Grandma shrugs and smiles as she waits for me by the door. Grandma and I are going out, I say. Where to, Uri? Mom asks. Where to, Grandma? I ask, turning toward her. But she's already out the door, so off I go too. And thus begins this wonderful adventure of this little boy and his grandmother. And it's really, really charming. Where does Grandma want to go? Oh, of course, the beach. I take her hand as we head toward the sparkling sand. There it is, the great blue sea of Tel Aviv. Fishermen are casting their lines into the water. Too bad we can't go swimming. It's winter time now. Grandma gazes out into the distance. What is she thinking about? The houses where she grew up? The friends she knew long ago? And so right off the bat, this story is telling us a bunch of information. His grandmother is from Germany, so she's either a refugee or a survivor because it's happening in Tel Aviv and they have Jewish names. And it takes us through the scenes and the sights and sounds of Tel Aviv as more and more people join them as they head off towards this mystery destination. It's got great pacing and it builds and builds and some lovely language. As we make our way through the park, I spot Danny and Aaron from my class hanging upside down on the monkey bars. I join them, suspended between heaven and earth. I see the world upside down. Isn't that lovely? Even Grandma is upside down. She's sitting on a bench chatting with a friend. They both have the exact same hairdo. 3 more people carrying funny-shaped cases now cross the park. A leap, a jump, and Grandma and I are right behind them. So note how wonderful it is, the sort of specificity of detail. They both have the exact same hairdo. The lyricism of suspended between heaven and earth, I see the world upside down. And then the mystery of these, strange characters with funny-shaped cases. So as adults, we can figure out what's going on, and kids may or may not. And so you can see the crowd gathering, and it really gives us wonderful details. The street is getting crowded. Everyone is heading in the same direction. Fishermen and construction workers and the guy who sells seltzer at the kiosk. Mr. and Mrs. Gross from the bookstore with their dog, boys and girls, and Grandma and me. Leading the crowd is a group of people carrying the funny-shaped cases. We have become a parade. And then we meet the people who are the founders of the Israel Philharmonic Orchestra. And it's just wonderful. And there's wonderful historical information. The conductor, Arturo Toscanini, Mr. Huberman, who's a friend of his grandmother's, who's the violinist and the founder of the orchestra, and all sorts of wonderful historical information. And then we have this lovely ending where we see, Yuri, and he's, pretending to be a conductor with his friends. And then there's this wonderful historical note at the end and some historical images. I haven't done a fantastic job of conveying to you how delightful and wonderful this book is, and what a great mentor text it is to look at it one way, really creatively approaching a non-fiction event and highlighting historical figures. So I hope you get your hands on this. It's published by Carben, which is an imprint of learners, and they're an imprint that does Jewish stories. You don't have to be Jewish to write them. And they do some wonderful books. So that's a quickie from a sick reviewer. Bye for now.